guys, welcome back. I'm Four Towers Films.
And I'm Doug218. How's it going?
It's going well. How's it going with you?
I am not dealing well with this heat. Currently, we're having a bit of a heat spell.
It's pretty hot here.
Yeah.
Well, we are recapping MasterChef Legends season number 18, episode 1.
And what's different is they haven't done this in a long while. Is the audition process?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, as you know, they usually do an audition process. In the first, quite a few seasons, they actually showed that, but they haven't for the past, I guess, maybe 3 or 4 seasons. They've gone directly to the ones that have gotten right, so like the top 15, top 16 or so. But this time, they've actually gone back and showing the actual audition process, which is always interesting to see that when you see the audition process.
And this year, because it is MasterChef Legends, every week they will have one legend from the culinary world.
Right.
So in the premiere episode, we had the great Emeril Lagasse.
Emeril Lagasse was guest chef this episode number 1.
Okay, so in case you guys don't remember, like only 15 people are going to get aprons. You must have 3.
It's new this year.
Yes.
You have to have 3 yeses.
3 yeses.
Because there's 4 actually at this time. There's 4 judges that are actually advising basically.
Yeah.
So you got Joe, you got
Aaron,
Gordon, and Aaron, and now for this week it's Emeril.
Exactly. So you must at least get 3.
Yeah.
To get your apron. So the cook is 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're like, this time it's going to be even harder on you. There's only 15 aprons. Let's get going.
Yeah.
So we get 2 people. They don't name them. The first 2 that went in. I'm sorry they didn't give a name, but
remember anyway.
The first one did a seared ahi tuna with cauliflower turmeric puree with wok seared vegetables. To myself, it looked good.
Of course, we didn't taste it, but
we couldn't taste it. It looked good, but it was like right across the board. All 4 of them said no.
No.
So there's the first no apron.
I think maybe that's why we never got their name.
I think so.
Because normally you'll see, you can get a bit of the backstory too, or they'll kind of follow the poem. You'll see there. They only do that with this couple.
So, and then the second individual that cooked, they did a bourbon glazed salmon with rice pilaf, and I think she got some good, some not great. When Gordon Ramsay tells you that the rice is crunchy and I have bits of rice in my tea.
Never a good way.
Never.
No.
Never a good sign.
No.
So there's the second no apron.
Right.
Now we meet the first one that we're actually introduced to.
Right.
His name is Alejandro. He's 39. He's a professional animal trainer from Atlanta. But originally he's from Cuba.
Right.
So he basically told the story of how food was very scarce. In the 80s and where he grew up, and to be able to have all the, I didn't taste an apple until I was in my teens, and then it just built this love of food.
Right.
So at that moment, the doors open up, Gordon and Emeril come out, to do the look around, and they stop to talk to him. His dish was a pan-seared lamb chop with parsnip puree and tomato carpaccio. Now, they all tasted it. Joe is Joe. Joe is very cynical about, certain things, but if he likes it, he likes it.
Right.
So, this was the first.
Well, because I think he was thinking, and he even said this, that is it good enough for an apron?
Yeah.
Considering there's only 15.
Yes.
Is it good enough for an apron?
But it came down to.
And his side probably was a no. He said a no, I think.
Actually, no. 4 yeses right across the board.
Okay.
So Alejandro got the first apron.
First apron.
So then we meet mom and daughter team,
Yeah.
Caitlin and Jen, and they are from Castro Valley, California. Gordon again with Emerald come out, and he's like, you two look familiar. And they get together and like,
Mother and daughter.
it's like you're competing against your daughter. What's wrong with you? Kind of thing.
Well, because I think they were kind of competitive. They both love cooking, and they both at least want to try. I mean, they kind of hope they both get in, but
exactly.
If they're rooting, they root for the other one. The other one.
Yeah, and that's what the mom said. If I don't make it, I'm gonna be her biggest cheerleader.
Right. Yeah.
So Jen was the mother was actually the first one to go in. She did a grilled mahi tuna with black coconut rice with tropical salsa.
Okay.
It looked good, but you can kind of see when they were tasting it, it's like, Well,
they basically were saying it was good, but not MasterChef standards.
That the fish was dry.
Right.
Like the salsa really didn't serve a purpose.
Well, I think they more or less kind of said there was some things that really didn't kind of go, or it didn't quite match with what the rest of the dish was.
So Jen didn't get an apron. Kaylin comes in with a chocolate volcano cake with raspberry sauce and fresh berries. Emerald liked it.
Yeah.
Gordon liked it. Aaron and Joe, sorry.
Well, I think they thought it was a little bit of something too. So, I mean, yes, volcano cake or lava cake, that kind of thing, but it was still a little too underdone, I think.
So, okay.
So, neither one got an apron.
Now, we meet Matt, 36. He's a construction worker from Cromwell, Connecticut. This time, Aaron and Joe come up, and they talk to him. Matt is making egg yolk ravioli. Joe chimes up. He goes, the history of this dish on this show, so you know what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
And
it's not an easy dish to pull off, especially for an audition dish.
And he did it with homemade ricotta, which I was impressed with. He made homemade ricotta cheese in 45 minutes.
They were kind of impressed by that too.
Basil oil, roasted cherry tomato, and crispy fried leeks. This time it was Gordon was like, your pesto was a little overpowering. The leeks, they were nowhere near how they were supposed to be. So Gordon was no. Joe, he's like, really gives him that real cynical eye, and he goes, you know what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
He cuts open the ravioli, and that yolk oozes out. And you kind of see Matt do that. Whew, okay.
And it was cooked properly.
But they also said, it's learning how to edit yourself.
Yeah.
Because there were certain things that didn't need to be on here. And
too much.
It's too much. And all of them literally said the pesto was a little overpowering. But
dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, turn it back. But then they said that's an experience.
Right.
Yeah. So Joe gave him a yes. He said, I like what you did here. You showed a lot of skill and to pull off this and to make homemade ricotta.
And 45 minutes.
And so Aaron and Matt's culinary hero was actually Emerald Lagasse, and he told Emerald, it's like, no matter what, even if I don't win an apron, but to get to cook for you and to shake your hand, I'll walk away a happy man.
Right.
So Aaron said yes. Emerald said yes, and Emerald's like, come around the table. Let me put this apron on you. And so
nothing like being awarded by your idol.
Your idol. So there's the second apron one. Like they're very
Well, because it's only 15, there's so many that are like auditioning to get in. They're being very picky. Like you seem to notice that
yeah, they're
as
much
seasons have gone on. Because if you think about even this, like you didn't even initially see. Because if you remember the earlier seasons, it was really step by step. Like you had hundreds, and then remember they all came together, and then it was weeded down to like 40 or 20 or whatever, and then down to like 15, 16. Well, we're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing from up to 15 from where they've come to this point. So I guess and they've become more and more strict or more and more hard on who they actually push through or who they give an apron to. So like there was quite a few that they thought were pretty good or whatnot, but I guess just wasn't good enough to get the apron.
Exactly.
So they're being very picky.
So then we get to meet Autumn. She's 27. She's a bartender from Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And so doors open up. Gordon and Emerald come out, and they get talking with her when she comes in. Now this if you're noticing a trend with the show, this episode there was a lot of dessert.
Yeah.
A lot of dessert made.
Yeah.
So she came in with a miso banana cake.
Yeah.
With cream cheese frosting and miso caramel sauce with brulee bananas.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't seem like it would.
No. No, and they kind of looked at each other like Gordon and Emerald. It's like when she said what she was doing, and it's like, okay. So they bring her in, and they all taste it. They said it was a unique balance. It balanced out, added a level to the cake and to the caramel.
Right.
So
plus, they said it was a unique combination.
Yeah.
It really actually kind of showcased her because she's kind of unique in that kind of thing. So they thought it kind of played to who she is as a person too.
And so, this young lady got 4 yeses across the board.
She was a Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, she was like, he's talking to her and he's like, "Are you all right?" And she's, "You're making me nervous," and you can really see the fans of certain chefs. Yeah. So, after Autumn, we get introduced to Elise. Now, Elise is 39. She's a salon owner from Chicago, Illinois. Gordon and Emerald come out again, and they get talking to her, shake the hand of her husband, her kids. I love the look. The youngest of Elise's kids was like, "I am never washing this hand again." Never washing this hand again. It was cute. And she made a red velvet cake. And she said it was my mother's recipe. I took it, I expanded on it, improved on it. I did it so well, it got a ring, pointing to her husband.
Yeah,
he was like,
well, they say, a way man's heart to his stomach.
That's true.
That's crazy.
That's true. Yeah. And they while this is going on, you also are introduced to Miles from Frisco, Texas. He's a YouTube gamer.
Yeah.
So Elise's dish was a mini red velvet cake with mascarpone cream cheese and freeze-dried raspberries. What was funny when she's presenting, they're like, "Oh wow, this is beautiful. This is it. Looks really great." And Gordon's like, "Listen, I got a problem. Can I turn that raspberry?" Because she had the raspberry pointed with the bottom pointed into the frosting.
Yeah.
And they're laughing because
they want to turn it
the other way,
say, right side up.
So she's like, "Oh, go ahead, do what you got to do," So they tried, and
It looked pretty though.
it was
Either way.
beautiful. And like Emerald said to her, it's a good thing you whipped like your frosting, and kind of really creamy. You can really taste the texture of it. So she got 4 yeses.
Yeah.
So there's paper number 5. Miles, who did, as he called it, Miles style chicken fried rice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. So,
But like they said, when they tasted it or when they looked at it, they said it really wasn't chicken fried rice.
yeah,
It didn't really quite match. And he goes, well, that's why he calls it Miles style.
yeah. And like, Joe's like, no, no. It's a no for me. Like, he was emphatic. I am not, no.
Yeah.
And Gordon, Emerald, and Aaron both said, well, you showed some flair. Maybe take certain components away. Like, just learn to tweak things. But we like what we see so far.
Right.
And like Joe more or less said, this is the kind of stuff you see in airports, airport food. And so Miles got an apron. So Miles and Elise were apron 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So before it went to commercial, Gordon looks at Joe and says, Emerald and I have restaurants in airports. There's good food. He goes, yeah, my case in point. So the last one that we saw for this episode, her name was Sue. She's 30. She's a food blogger from Houston, Texas. So Joe and Aaron come out, and she's representing Burmese cuisine.
Right. Yeah, right.
She, as she said in her story, she was, we didn't have a lot, so you were appreciative of almost the simple things, like to even have a bowl of rice every day. You were thankful for. So she did a Burmese noodle soup with shrimp and coconut curry. They were very, like Aaron said, you're very conscious of each component. So you understand plating and how to present. They all tasted it and they all raved about it, and so they gave 4 yeses. Then they're like, and she goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" And Joe's like, "Yeah, you can get out of here so we can finish the rest of this." And as they close it out, like they're kind of bickering back and forth about, Emerald and I didn't get any shrimp, and this,
Right.
Yeah. And she called back home to Burma because this is where her family is. She came to America to go to school,
Right.
and she called them up and told them that she had won. So that's the 6th apron.
Yeah.
So far,
we have 6.
So we have 9 more.
Yeah.
Aprons to give out. So Emerald was in this episode. Next week, it's going to be Chef Curtis Stone.
That'll be next.
Okay, so
for the continuation of the audition process.
For the audition process. So what do you think of MasterChef Legends?
Well, for the first episode, it's nice to see the audition process again.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't get to see that last year.
No, that's true.
I mean, like we said, it's not like it used to be, whereas you saw like hundreds kind of and then like mass cooking and then beating it down. But it's nice to see that beating it down to 15 because we haven't really seen that in a couple of years. So that was good. Of course, right now it's too hard to tell. You might be kind of dark horse because we still have to get through like another 9 aprons kind of thing. So, but I think there's right now, like you said, there's a lot more desserts.
Yeah, there was a lot of desserts this
Um,
episode.
There's a couple you might think because they did this technical
Yes.
dishes. So, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, I think a couple of them you almost think, are they really going to go that far because of the dish they did? Like,
Yeah.
they got through, but maybe just barely. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, I guess right, it's still kind of too early to tell. But
Yeah,
what
that's
do you
true.
think?
I was pretty impressed with in the first round of auditions, the amount of talent that we did see.
Oh yeah, I mean they seem to be really up in the game and talent. It's amazing that you think these are home cooks.
These are home
and
cooks.
and not professional
No.
cooks.
But you can already see that it's going to be a tough season.
Yeah.
Just in this audition process.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they're pretty picky. I'm curious to see what Curtis Stone's take will be on the next episode, how he will judge.
Yeah.
You know, I like seeing the audition process come back.
Yeah.
You know, and to see, you know, you can kind of see the looks on the next batch that are sitting in the cheat seats, cheering them on,
well, they cheer them on, yeah.
And then to see, you know, if they come out and they're like, oh, you know.
Well, because then if you think about it, the less come out, the more chance you have to get a it. So I guess that they're kind of rooting, but they're kind of not because they want their shot. Too, so.
And it's like they said, we've only got 15, and that's it.
What would happen though? Say even the first batch, they're all 15. They liked all of it. Then what about the people are still sitting there? You know, you're like that's kind of a problem.
Okay, that would be a first.
It would be. That's never happened.
That's true. That has never happened on this show, but it would.
It'd be interesting to do.
That would be funny.
It would, yeah.
It would be very funny if it did. I'm curious to see as we get into episode 2, 3, what kind of challenges they're going to throw at them into the actual competition aspect.
Yeah.
You know, right now you're just trying to impress 4. You know, to get in to actually.
Well, you still have to impress that.
Well,
to even advance in the competition.
But what I mean is that right now you're only having to deal with 4, but once you get into once everyone's into the actual competition, then you can kind of suss out, okay, this one's my direct competition. I need to do something to knock him out.
Yeah, but the thing is, see, this is the thing with this game. It's kind of like they don't really have control who gets kicked out, who doesn't. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, like they still have to impress the 4 judges.
Of course.
If that's going to continue, I'm assuming that there's going to be 4 judges through or I'll write out Legends. But I know like they're trying to say, oh, this one and this one, and I know sometimes they'll strategically do things to try to knock out their competition, but really they really do kind of start to focus on their own thing too. So I mean, it's that kind of a competition really that you kind of have a little bit of control of what you can do against others, but it's really more about what you can do to advance yourself too. So it'll be interesting to see the kind of competition they have to do. You know, and who actually rises and who
crashes and burns.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Interesting to see as the time goes on.
So I'm glad to see MasterChef US back.
Yeah, welcome back, MasterChef. It's only been about a week or 2 since MasterChef Canada finished, so it's kind of nice to see the overlap on this a little bit. So it's kind of nice seeing MasterChef back again. So.
Exactly.
And hopefully you will follow us along, including those who like MasterChef Canada. Hopefully you like MasterChef US as well, and you'll come along and watch us on our cap and enjoy the show along with us. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. This first season, we are going completely live with MasterChef, so hopefully you'll come along and enjoy it with us. And we will see you next week for another edition of MasterChef Legends season 18.
Tune in, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.